Rahman Rahim. I'm Dr. Muhibbul Wazir, and it's the second lecture of the knee joint. And we will be discussing the ligaments of the knee joint. Now, the first ligament is the capsule. At each joint, it is the capsule which is the first ligament and which gives support to the joint. When it grows, the was clear and gives support to the joint. Now, and in the capsule I discussed in detail. Now, the other ligaments of the knee joint are, you look at it, one at the medial side and one at the lateral side and one anterior, three strong ligaments. Then on the posterior side there are two ligaments which are popliteal ligaments, and we call that as oblique popliteal ligament on the posterior side and arcuate popliteal ligament. Then two ligaments are inside the joint cavity, and these are the anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. And then in addition to that, I had discussed that the transverse meniscal ligament, and I have also discussed menisco-meniscal ligament, and then I have also told you about the coronary ligament, and then the menisci, which are present over here, the fiber of cartilage present between the two bones. Some people include these in ligaments, but I think these are fiber cartilage, and to include that in the ligament, I think it would not be fair. Anyhow, in some books it is being written. Look, now let us discuss all the ligaments one by one. The medial ligament, which is also called as tibial collateral ligament, and you can see that this tibial collateral ligament or medial ligament is above attached. It is attached to the medial surface of the medial condyle of the femur, and it is a wide triangular shape, and below it is being attached to the medial surface of medial condyle of the tibia, and on its deep surface this medial collateral ligament is being attached to the medial meniscus, and this deep attachment of the medial collateral ligament, it is called as coronary ligament. Now look at it over here, please. Make it close. Look. This is the medial collateral ligament, and this you can see, this is the medial meniscus, and this medial meniscus you can see, is it closed, is it clear? This medial meniscus is this medial ligament is attached to the medial meniscus over here, and this extension is called as coronary ligament. And then the medial meniscus is also being fused with the outer surface of the capsule. Okay, and then the lateral collateral ligament or the fibulocollateral ligament, it is a cord-like structure that is being attached superiorly over here. It is being attached superiorly over here to the lateral epicondyle, while the medial ligament is being attached to the medial condyle just below this adductor tubercle. It is attached over here, while the lateral one is attached to this lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and below this is attached to the head of the fibula. This is fibulocollateral ligament, and over here there is a lot of gap between the fibulocollateral ligament and capsule, so this ligament is not fused with the capsule, and it is also not being attached with the lateral meniscus. And then note one point, that these two ligaments lying on the lateral and medial side, note this point, they are being crossed by the corresponding muscle. Look, on the medial side, this medial ligament is being crossed by the tendon of sartorius and gracilis and semitendinosus. These three tendons, Sardar, Ganda Singh, sartorius, gracilis, and semitendinosus, it crosses the medial collateral ligament. While the lateral collateral ligament, it is being crossed by this tendon of biceps muscle. And note another point, that passing deep to each tendon from posterior to anterior coming like this is the medial inferior genicular artery, lateral inferior genicular artery passing deep to this tendon, and medial inferior genicular artery passing deep to this tendon. Now these are the relations of the ligament, which is actually for postgraduate. As undergraduate, you simply name and tell the attachment is okay, all right for the undergraduate. Then anterior to it, you can see, look, this is the quadriceps tendon of quadriceps muscle, the talus medialis, and then rectus femoris and intermedius. This is the tendon of quadriceps muscle. It passes anterior to the patella, and the patella is said to be as the sesamoid bone, the tendon of the quadriceps muscle, and then from this onward, this tendon is divided into three parts. The central part, which is called as ligamentum patella, which is attached to this tibial tuberosity. It is attached to the tibial tuberosity. While two other reticula, which is not present in this one, they extend also laterally over here from this patella, and these are being attached lateral and medial patellar reticula. Over here they are being attached to the sides of the tibial tuberosity. In this way, on the anterior side, in this way. Look, bring it over here. This is quadriceps tendon, this is patella, this is ligamentum patella attached to the tibial tuberosity. Is it clear? And then one reticula from here and one from over here, are being attached to the sides of the tibial tuberosity. In this way, anteriorly supported the joint is by this ligamentum patella and lateral and medial patellar reticula. Okay, and then I told you on the posterior side, there are two ligaments by the name of oblique popliteal ligament and arcuate popliteal ligament. And you know over here, which one is this muscle? Look, this one is the semitendinosus and the deeper one is the semimembranosus. And you know the semimembranosus is being inserted over here on the posterior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia. So look, this is the medial side, and over here it is the tendon of semimembranosus. Extending from the tendon of semimembranosus, one ligament extending laterally towards the lateral condyle of the femur. This is called as oblique popliteal ligament. This is an extension from the tendon of semimembranosus muscle from the posterior surface of the tibial condyle, and it extends laterally. It blends with the posterior surface of this capsule. Over here is the capsule. It extends from over here like this, and over here is like the capsule. It blends with the posterior surface of the capsule and ascends upward to be attached to this medial surface and posterior part of this from the lateral condyle. Look, it extends from over here, passes superior-laterally to be attached to the lateral condyle of femur. This is being called as oblique popliteal ligament, and it is actually the extension of the semimembranosus muscle. And look, over here lies the popliteal artery. This one, which you can see. This artery. Is it clear or not? Ali, close karo the artery. This popliteal artery, which you can see over here. This artery, it lies over the surface of this oblique popliteal ligament. Then the other one is the arcuate popliteal ligament. Arcuate popliteal ligament is attached over here to the head of the fibula, and then it ascends upward and divides into two slits, one to the tibia and one attached to the femur. Look, make it close. This is the head of the fibula. This is the stem of arcuate popliteal ligament, and then it divides into two limbs, and this one limb is attached to the tibia and another limb is attached to the lateral condyle of femur. This is arcuate popliteal ligament. Okay. Then what you do, you cut the capsule and go inside the joint cavity. When you go inside the joint cavity, you will note two ligaments are present inside the joint cavity. These ligaments are intra-articular. Note the point. But these ligaments are intra-articular, but it do not lie between the articular surfaces. Look. This is articular surface of femur. This is non-articular area. And in the same way, these are articular surface of tibia, and this is non-articular area. So these ligaments are attached between this lower end are attached over here and upper ends are attached over here. That is, these ligaments are intra-articular, but it doesn't lie between these articular surfaces. That's why during movement of the knee joint, they are not being crushed. And these ligaments are the anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. Look, the anterior cruciate ligament from below. Look, the anterior cruciate ligament is, look, this is the intercondylar area, and this is the intercondylar eminence. And look, over here is attached the anterior horn of lateral meniscus, and over here is attached the anterior horn of medial meniscus, and over here is attached the lower end of anterior cruciate ligament. You look, this over here. This is the anterior horn of medial meniscus. This is the anterior horn of lateral meniscus, and this is the lower end of anterior cruciate ligament. The lower end of anterior cruciate ligament is attached over here. Then this ligament, it ascends. Look, it ascends towards the lateral condyle of the femur like this. It ascends over here like this and twists upon itself, and is then being attached to the posterior medial surface of lateral condyle of femur over here. And this you can see over here. This is the anterior cruciate ligament. Anteriorly it is attached to the upper part of intercondylar area of the tibia, and above it is attached to the medial surface of the lateral condyle of femur, non-articular part, and it is being twisted upon itself. Well, this you can see, this is the posterior cruciate ligament, and this posterior cruciate ligament, the lower end is being attached to this lowest part of intercondylar area. Look over here. This is the lower end of anterior cruciate, and this is the lower end of posterior cruciate, the lowest part of intercondylar area. And then it passes from this area. Look, it passes from this area upward and medially crossing the anterior cruciate ligament behind it, and it reaches to the lateral surface of the medial condyle femur. In this way, this is the posterior cruciate, and this one is the anterior cruciate. The two anterior posterior, these two cross one another. Look, in the form of fold X. The anterior one usually lies anteriorly to the one posteriorly. And note one point over here. Look, this is the anterior of the joint. The synovial membrane, which is a sac, it lies on the surface of these cruciate ligaments. It does not invest. Look, if there are two ligaments, the synovial membrane lies on it, and these tendons are being invaginated into the synovial cavity from behind side. That's why this posterior surface of the two ligaments are not covered by the synovial membrane. Look, so this is the anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments, and the menisci, if you include in the ligaments, I have discussed it already. And then meniscofemoral, anterior and posterior meniscofemoral ligaments, I have also discussed in connection with the menisci. And then the transverse, look, this one, the transverse meniscus ligament, that the ligament connects the two menisci, and then this coronary ligament which connects the medial ligament with the medial meniscus. And posteriorly over here inside the capsule also lies the popliteus muscle, which also support the joint from the posterior side. Okay, the synovial membrane of the knee joint is the biggest synovial cavity, but the fluid present in it is not more than 0.5 ml, which is used for lubrication. The synovial cavity is being present over here inside the joint capsule. And this synovial cavity is being connected especially to a big bursa over here, which is called a suprapatellar bursa. And I told you that, look, this is the tendon of quadriceps. Deep to it, this is a big bursa over here in this area. Deep to this tendon is a big bursa, which is called a suprapatellar bursa, and which is connected through a foramen in the capsule with the synovial cavity of the knee joint. Okay, and this is all about the ligaments of the knee joint. And to summarize again, anterior patellar bursa, ligamentum patella and reticula, medial collateral ligament and lateral collateral ligament, transverse ligament, and then oblique popliteal, arcuate popliteal, anterior and posterior cruciate, and menisci if you include, and then meniscofemoral, anterior posterior meniscofemoral ligaments as well, and then the coronary ligament, extension from the medial ligament to the meniscus. These are the ligaments of the knee joint.
18 minutes.
Now, look, over here around this joint, there are a lot of muscles and tendons and ligaments. That's why so many bursae lies around the knee joint, almost 1 dozen. Look, one big bursa lies over here, suprapatellar bursa, which we have mentioned. Usually it is continuous with the synovial cavity of the knee joint. Then one bursa lies over here between the patella and the skin. Okay, and then one bursa lies over here between the ligamentum patella and the tibial tuberosity, and one bursa lies anterior to the ligamentum patella between the skin and the ligamentum patella, suprapatellar, and then it is the prepatellar and subcutaneous the bursae. So 4 bursae over here. Then 2 bursae are being present on each side, one between the ligament and these tendons, the tendon tendinosus and bicep femoris, and one between the ligament and the capsule. In the same way, on the lateral side also 2 bursae between the biceps and the ligament, and between the ligament and the capsule. And posteriorly, over here you can see this is 2 heads of gastrocnemius muscle. 1 bursa each lies over here deep to the 2 heads of gastrocnemius muscle, and 1 bursa may be present over here between the popliteus and the giant cavity. So these are somewhat 1 dozen bursae. I think you can study yourself. It's easy and do not need any more discussion. Then the blood supply of the knee joint also easy, you study. And the nerve supply is, according to Halton law, it is being supplied by all the nerves which supply these muscles. Now the posterior muscle by sciatic nerve through its tibial and peroneal component. So the knee joint is being supplied by the tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. And from anterior side, the anterior muscles this is being supplied by the femoral nerve, so it also supplies the knee joint. And from medial side, this is the obturator nerve, so obturator, femoral, and the tibial and common peroneal nerve, it supplies the knee joint. Okay, I think this is done. Then the movements of the knee joint we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you very much.